rather than pontificating about how draconian these hate speech laws are, why don't we go time traveling? And this is dedicated to all the Australian men alive today. Let's say it's 20 or 30 years from now and you complied. You saw that you didn't know what to do to stop the hate speech laws, so you just complied. And anyway, you never do anything wrong. You never do any hate speech. You never do anything wrong. So even though they brought in digital ID, which no one could stop because no one was allowed to protest anymore, and then the social credit score system, even under those circumstances, you still prospered because you don't do anything wrong. And here you are now in a retirement village, and your daughter is getting you ready for the Anzac service. It's Anzac Day. It's the dawn service, and you're sitting there in your wheelchair, in your suit, and you've got your forefathers' medals on your breast. And in the room also is your grandson, who's just silent and sullen and looking at you. And your daughter goes, "Okay, you look gorgeous, Dad. I'll just go get the car," or whatever vehicle they're driving then, and off she goes. And suddenly you're looking at your grandson, you're like, "Yeah, what's up, mate?" He goes, "I've been talking to someone I shouldn't have. Your brother." Now, your brother has no social credit score at all. He is ostracized by the family because that keeps the family safe, because if they interact with him, their social credit score could be affected. So they have nothing to do with him because he's been to jail numerous times for airing his opinion and hate speech. And your grandson now is also going to have his social credit score affected because he's actually reached out and spoken to him, which pisses you off. But then he says, "Your brother told me that in his opinion, the Australia you grew up with died when the hate speech laws came in." And you're like, "Oh, he's always over exaggerating, just full of himself," and you scoff and leave it behind. And you go, "So, Granddad, you wanted the hate speech laws to come in? You didn't care?" And he goes, "Well, no, of course I didn't want them to come in. No one did, but what can you do?" And he goes in and goes, "Well, what did you do? If you didn't want them to come in, what did you do?" And you get a bit angry. And you go, "Hey, mate, if I'd done what my brother had done, I'd now be broke too and living on the fringes of society. I did what I had to do for this family. I had to keep a house over my kids' heads. I had to keep my job, and I had to do what I had to do to be here. And you are the beneficiary, mate, because I'm going to die soon, and there's going to be a lot of money in the will for you. Okay? So you're going to do pretty well." And then your grandson says, "But what's the point of having all this wealth if I don't have the freedom to be me? And surely to be me," this is what your brother says, "the only way you can be yourself is if you have freedom of speech." So, aren't I really just living in a gilded cage that you locked the door on? And you're looking at him in a bit of shock. And you're just about to say something, but your daughter comes in and goes, "Okay, let's go, ready to go." And she goes, "Whoops, phone call." She goes, "Come on." And she pushes you out to wherever you're going. And at the dawn service, they sit you up at the front as though you are an ambassador for all these soldiers who fought and died for our freedoms. Because there you are with your medals. You're the modern day hero in their eyes. And you're sitting there listening to this last post, listening to all these stories of sacrifice and heroism. And then you're just wondering, what would it have been like if you did something? If you'd stood up and said something at this time? You're wondering now, could there be a way that I could get out of this wheelchair and sacrifice everything I've earned by complying for one chance to come back here now to this moment in history right now on the eve of these hate speech laws coming in. And even though you wouldn't know what to do, you'd still risk it by doing a Facebook post and saying what you really felt in your soul. You'd go, Prime Minister Albanese, you traitorous dog, what the hell are you thinking? Basically trying to silence the Australian people. We are a democracy. We are the children of soldiers who fought and died so we can be free, which includes freedom of speech. And you're trying to take that away from us for safety? This is more than traitorous. This is an act of war on the Australian people. And I will not comply. End post. And I wonder, as you sat there in your wheelchair, what you think, how you think your grandson would treat you then. If he was in that room, would he still be looking at you with this sullen face? Or would he be the one who proudly grabbed the handles of your wheelchair and led you down to the front of the Anzac Dawn Day service? Because in his eyes, even if you failed, even if you weren't successful at stopping the laws, you were still a hero and something to aspire to. So come on!